Thank you, Bishop Palmer and my cabinet colleagues and my friends and members of the West Ohio Annual Conference for the privilege of serving with you today. My name is Todd Anderson, and I currently serve as the Dean of the Cabinet, serving in the Ohio River Valley District of our great West Ohio Annual Conference. By discipline, the role of the superintendent is to be the chief missional strategist in the district in which they are assigned. Each of us has been appointed by Bishop Palmer first and foremost as a conference superintendent. And in this work, we have been assigned to a particular district within the bounds of our annual conference. Our cabinet relates to 8 dynamic districts, each with its own distinctive regional flavor. During the course of this year, your cabinet has lived into many touch points along with you. This has been the second year of pandemic. The experiences of video ministry in our local congregations, all those Zoom meetings, and now some early senses of normalcy, or at least the new normal that we're going to experience together, have continued to help us pivot into a world that is living with pandemic and may indeed be living with pandemic for the foreseeable future. What we do know is that life has altered in many ways, both for us individually and corporately. Both lay and clergy leaders are tired. We know that. We feel that. It's been a challenging time to be in ministry and to lead, but it's also a very exciting time. We only need to go back in history and read and reflect about lay and clergy leadership throughout the great pandemics in world history. And we've seen people go through the same experiences, but then pivot into the new normal with excitement that God is at work in the midst of human community. Many of the dynamics we are currently experiencing have been seen before. It's so easy for us to think that as human beings, we're the first people to confront the capricious nature of pandemic, but we're not. We need to learn to give ourselves a break and learn how to emerge together as powerful and authentic community as followers of Jesus Christ. There are deep and constant impulses in our culture to be individualistic, but this cuts across the breadth and the depth of Christian experience, both in the words that lead to life and within the tradition of the church. As conference superintendents and as annual conference leaders, we are pouring resources in at the district and annual conference levels on making disciples for Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world and the leadership skills that are necessary for making these pivots. Just a few of these include the Bishop's Leadership Clinics, which have attracted national attention, Leadership Training Day experiences with districts paired together for the first time in our history to bring relevant and timely teaching information to you. For more information, please check out your district website and check out the West Ohio Annual Conference website. You're going to find a lot of resources. We carry all of these pieces together, places where we've been challenged, as if they're threads in a tapestry that we weave together. Each one of us bring a thread of experience from our life, and we offer it to be woven together. As cabinet, we set ourselves forward on the task of weaving in the appointment season that we share together, always with an eye towards the mission of the church, which is about making disciples and changing the world. One of the things that we've done over the time that I've been on the cabinet is by inviting full-time elders who've requested a change of appointment to come and spend some concentrated time with the cabinet to discuss ministry matters, hopes, dreams, and their call to ministry. We've done this repeatedly over the years, and it's enhanced our appointment making because we know people better. All ministry happens at the point of relationship. Hopefully, for those of you who have moved over the last few years, you have felt that this has been a good experience and that you've been heard by your cabinet. We do, however, have some constraints. All institutions do. And one of those constraints in our conference is the notion of tethers. A tether is offered to a clergy person who, for a very good reason, might have an ill parent or a spouse's specific work, or perhaps even caring for the needs of children in specialized cases. It usually includes a radius over a region, or some miles, or even a driving distance. While we honor tethers for our clergy families, in some cases, they produce conflict for the parsonage family and even with itinerant ministry. Those constraints exist. But we make appointments with Bishop Palmer's leadership, bathed in prayer through the inspiration and the power of the Holy Spirit. We can't do this work without the power and the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. Another constraint is the decline that some of our local churches have experienced during the pandemic. We know this, we hear you. We've had more part-time churches currently in our system than we can ever remember. Additionally, we have a smaller number of available personnel to serve in these places. In days gone by, seminary students and retired clergy, along with licensed local pastors, have served our smaller congregations. But these constraints are indeed challenging. We just don't have a lot of students, we don't have a lot of retirees, and we're having a hard time finding licensed local pastors. Our cabinet has already begun conversation about how the sacramental needs of your local church can be met if you find yourself in this situation. We are going to need to be creative in the future with vital mergers, with clergy serving multiple churches in places where this has not been the norm, and we're going to need the encouragement of our retired clergy to help with sacramental life and perhaps regional sacramental services in a county or a portion of a county or another locale where available personnel are in short supply. We know that everyone is needed to care for the spiritual life of all of our churches. Recently, Bishop Palmer addressed in a video the matter of disaffiliation and potential decision-making of both clergy and laity, of local congregations, of pastors and pastoral families. The cabinet will follow the direction of Bishop Palmer as he leads us in the process that is outlined by the special called General Conference in St. Louis in 2019, as found in the 2019 Book of Discipline of the United Methodist Church. Cabinet will play a large role, and I want you to know that we are up to the task, and we will be faithful. We will be present with you regardless of the decision that you individually will make or that your congregation will make. Like you, we love the church. And as missional strategists, the mission is proclaiming Jesus Christ, and the strategy is making disciples. This is who we are as United Methodists. And it is my privilege to have served as your dean of our West Ohio Cabinet this year. It's a great time to be in ministry, friends, because the world needs the gospel of Jesus Christ. You and I have the privilege of conveying that message, of living that life, and developing those important relationships. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. God bless, and remember, you are loved.